Songstress of Shangri-La, Coup Mastermind, Shion, is an interesting design in that she is completely centered around her regalia, the heavenly instrument, Hydromonica. Shion has a judgment cost of water 2 and 1 effect. You may look at the top card of your deck at any time. Does nothing by itself, but with her support cards, she starts becoming comparable to Reflect. Nowhere near as good, but comparable. Heavenly Instrument Hydromonica is a zero-cost regalia. The first effect allows you to tap it and put the top card of your deck onto the bottom, or in other words, 4C1 thanks to Shion. 4C being Forceville's word for scry. But because Hydromonica lacks Mythic and Shion can look at the top card at any time, despite being slower than Reflect, she can dig further. Shion can scry up to 4 times, looking for the exact card she wants. This is exceptionally good at the end of your opponent's turn, where you can start digging before your restore phase to draw into what you need on your turn. She can also pay 2, tap, and sack Hydromonica to search for any card and put it on top of your deck. The cost of this effect lowers by 1 if used by Shion. This effect becomes more relevant when we get to Shion's J-Ruler and her stone, but the face value of paying 1 and sacking a regalia to set up anything you need is actually good. If you have any draw power, which you do, you can just draw straight into the card you put on top. The first draw power you have is Hydromonica's third effect. Discard another Hydromonica from your hand to draw a card. Worth it if you really need the card in question, but to keep a Hydromonica in play, use its rigging effect and draw a card, you will need a total of 3 Hydromonica and give up 2 scry a turn. The second is her stone, Hymnal's Memoria, a stone that produces water and comes in tapped if your ruler isn't Shion. It also has an enter effect. Call a card name, then reveal the top card of your deck. If it's the card you named, place it into your hand. While chance-based, you can use Hydromonica to hit the card you want, then chance into drawing it off Hymnal Memoria. It's a 40% chance at playset, so not the worst. You can play Hydromonicas before you tap your stone, so you can attempt to reveal what you want. When Shion casts Judgment, she becomes Coup Mastermind Shion, a 900-1000 traitor. Interesting race, but you know what they say. One man's terrorist is another man's freedom fighter, and the narrative of the game is squarely on Shion being a freedom fighter. The race is from Valentina's point of view. Shion keeps her ability to look at the top card of your deck at any time, and has an enter effect. When she enters the field, she reveals the top card of your deck. If it's a resonator with a total cost of 5 or less, she summons it for free. Hydromonica sets this card up naturally, with or without the banish effect of Hydromonica. Up to 5 cost with no colour restrictions, blow the doors wide open. Common cards you will see in Shion decks at the time are Celestial Winged Seraph, Arthur Pendragon King of the Round Table, Valentina Puppet Monarch, and Fallen Angelic Destroyer Lucifer. Many of these cards give additional pluses on top of their big bodies, so it's easy to see why they are in a Shion deck. Value Town, especially Lucifer and Valentina, who take resonators away from the opponent. Finally, she has her God's Art, the Serenade of Rebellion. It costs 2 Water Will, she gains plus 500 for the turn, and she performs a fight effect to target opponent's J Resonator. Fight is very uncommon for water. It's typically a wind and fire effect, though it recently turned up in light, but I'm not complaining. I think wind needs to be gutted of effects. Still, nice to have 1400 damage for 2 water packed on Shion. It's a very blunt effect, but a good one. It's kind of surprising that Shion would turn up a set after Reflect Refrain, as she is arguably a much healthier version of the same card. Her main benefit is Reflect's main benefit, Hand Filter. She's just slower and involves more components. I'd argue she has more of a fun factor than Reflect 2, partially because she's more interactive due to all her components, but also because of her explosive enter effect on the J-Ruler. Shion turns up really consistently in top 8 lists from the moment she releases in the Moonlit Saviour, along with 2 other rulers from the set, and is by far one of the better rulers of the cluster as a whole. Top 5 material for sure.